Some breaking news with James Tedesco on the verge of signing a lifetime deal with the Roosters. The Daily Telegraph is reporting via Phil Rothfield that the superstar fullback is about to sign a $6 million 5-year deal. And that puts him well and truly up there with some of the highest paid NRL players, and you'd have to say worth every single cent.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the same contract that McInnes has here at Fox League. That's it's a tremendous reward for a guy that's played high level of football the last 2 years. You know, for him to make the big decision about moving across to from the West Tigers to find his home in the eastern suburbs, to winning the Dally M last year, being arguably the best player in the world for the last couple of years. That's probably unders for what he's delivered for the Roosters in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. I think it's cheap. I mean, he's the best player in the competition, along with Nathan Cleary. Nathan's game's gone to an extreme level this year, but this has been year after year after year for James Tedesco, and he just continues to evolve his game. He continues to get better. He hasn't deteriorated whatsoever. His numbers, again, particularly from the midpoint of this season, even through the period where they lost so much quality, there was periods of this season where they were without Luke Keary, Kyle Flanagan went out of the side. We've seen Jake Friend have injuries at different times. There's been a number of injuries to big forwards in their sides, yet he's been the mainstay, and he's just continued to produce. His performances the last 2 weeks are as good as he's ever played. And the fact that, if you think of David Fafita, like David's been paid an enormous amount of money by the Gold Coast Titans.
Not quite that much.
No, but that's on potential. Yeah, this bloke has shown that he can produce it at every single level. And so for $1.2 million, you think it back to the Broncos days where Wayne used to have the mantra that the players stayed to be in the good system and they stayed for less.
It's exactly what James has done. He's stayed for less.
That's right.
You know, he's in a great system, having great success at the moment.
Loving his
looking
footy.
For the three-pit, loving his football. So, I mean, why would you go? It's a terrific club to stay at. If you're going terrifically well.
He's also at a club that he's improving in. Like, we're talking about how well he's playing. Last year, he wasn't getting to first receiver and setting people up. Now, he's taking the ball on a kick return, tackle 3 gets a first receiver, and then he's competing out the edge for the last couple of plays. So he's getting better as the game goes on.
Well, let's go back to the SCG. Sonny Bill Williams is there for us. Sonny, we're just talking about James Tedesco. I mean, you've played all around the world. You know that he is a world-class athlete. The story is just broken that he's on the verge of signing a lifetime deal with the Roosters, about $6 million over 5 years. Can you see the value in a talent like James Tedesco?
Yeah, with guys like with guys like the bro, you don't let them go. So Nick and the club are smart men, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see his value on the field. But for me, the thing I like about him is his humbleness and his demeanour off it. So.
Sonny, it's Mika. We spoke last weekend about how much it's great to see you back, but boy, tonight, I mean, an extra half an hour out there, some real cobwebs blown out last week down in the nation's capital. But tonight, I mean, I think that's the best I've seen the Roosters attack. I was worried when they lost Victor Radley because of that ball playing through the middle. But the injection tonight of yourself coming in and being able to play with that freedom and that creativity that you had took so much pressure off your halves. Is that something that Trent Robinson has spoken to you about doing?
Yeah, I think for us as a team, our main focus is defence. Defence wins competitions, but for us, we fill those gaps with just playing footy. And I think the more we can flow, the more we can work on our combos and get that, that intuition, that footy intuition. And like for me, trying to push off guys like Teddy and Kez and that, just working that type of style, I think. You can't really coach against it. There's a lot more plays, and that's what we're trying to work towards. So, tonight I think our completion rate was a little bit down, but in saying that, we're happy with where we are, and we just got it where we are, and we just got to keep working hard, my brother.
Sonny, it's Cooper Cron. Congratulations on your performance tonight. Just tell me, how are the lungs tonight, mate? Much better than last week?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, Cronk, 6 months out, surgery. Was on holiday in Spain, so had to feel that heat last week. It was like a punch in the face, but this week I was ducking. I was moving. I was
getting ready for Gal.
Yeah, brother, yeah.
Hey, Sonny, it's Mal. We're just sort of gloating about how good your back 5 were. James Tedesco, the Morris twins, Joseph Manu and Daniel Tupu. How great were they tonight? Coming out of your end, they scored most of your tries tonight as well. They're just terrific players, aren't they?
Yeah, I was actually at the start of the game. I was just sitting there and I was just actually like thinking, man, how big the lads and strong the lads have gotten over the last 6 years, and our back five are leading the way, or up there as well. So it's quite special for myself just coming back and being in the team that's functioning and moving so well, and those back five are leading the way.
Sonny, Cooper Cronk was just talking about his comparison of his paycheck with the new one that Teddy's about to get. Mate, I've seen you driving that Bentley. Make sure he invests it wisely, my friend.
Well, bro, that Bentley, just so you know, is not mine. I stole it, bro. I tell anyone, all right? I drive it like it's mine, though.
Drive it like you stole it, Sonny Bill. I mean, Greg Alexander commented during this game that you were playing with all the subtleties and the skill of a halfback. Is that something that you've enjoyed embracing and bringing into the team?
Well, I'm 35, so I've got to have a point of difference. You know what I mean? But I think for myself, like I said, it's a privilege to come back in a team that's a well-oiled machine and just try and add my little 2 cents on top. But like I said, tonight was a step in the right direction, but we still got a couple more rounds, and we really want to firstly cement that top 4 spot, but then keep growing and keep improving towards the finals.
All right, Sonny, well, all the best. You're back at the SCG next Saturday against the Sharks.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Sonny Bill Williams
excellent
there.
Tonight.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Such a difference from last week.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine though? He's been out of the competition for so long, and his first game in the hostility of playing, a grand final rematch, and the fact that he could only get limited time on the field, given how quick it was, and just that extra work, the monkey off his back, all that pressure off. The focus had been on him, and tonight he just focused on what he can contribute without any of the fanfare, and he was terrific. God, I thought he made a difference.
Well, it's scary because I thought they may struggle with Victor Radley not in the footy side, and all of a sudden Sonny Bill is only twice as big and probably more skillful. He starts to come into that 13 spot. It just makes them more dangerous and probably a bit more ruthless around the way they play. So it's frightening. Honestly, it's frightening.
Well, our next two are also a little bit scary in their own right about how good they are. Let's go back to the SCG. James Tedesco and Luke Keary. Luke, congratulations. We'll get to you in a moment, but the big breaking news is all surrounding the man beside you, the $6 million man over 5 years, about to sign a lifetime deal with the Roosters. Does that give you a little bit more clarity, Teddy, moving forward, and you're really happy to commit and know that you're worth there at the Tricolours?
I know, that's news to me. I've been ripped off.
You got to get Teddy's dad to help do your deal with Nick Politis and.
It's the first I'm hearing of it, so yeah. Congrats, thanks, mate.
So Teddy, all that stuff in the papers, we don't believe. You're not on a big contract like that. You're not in negotiations at the moment.
I'm just taking it one game at a time.
Luke, obviously tonight, last week you came back from that rib injury, and to be fair, it was a brave performance by yourself. You had John Bateman in your face all night, and you continued.
You can say it was soft.
No, it wasn't soft. I thought it was a tough, knowing the injury that you had. But tonight it just looked like you had a lot more confidence to take on the line and created so much more space for your outside man, and the man beside you, together when you attack, just proved too much of a threat at times.
Yeah, mate, it was a bit of a nervous one for me last week, but I was happy to get through it, and I thought it was a lot better with the ball tonight. It was good to get a bit of combination stuff going down that left edge. All the balls back.
Lucas Olsane, I thought you were soft last week, mate. How are the bruised ribs?
They're really bad. They're all right.
What about your play tonight, mate? You obviously had a hiccup last week with injection to get back into the football team, but your ability to run the football, connect with Jake Friend, connect with Teddy through the middle third, you really carved up the Newcastle Knights down that edge.
Yeah, mate, it was a bit of a weird one. We went live with them. I thought we probably tried to play a little bit around them there in the second half, but yeah, running off Teddy and Jake and Kyle there, it's fun. Sonny come on there at the end too. Hopefully we'll get a bit more time coming into the finals.
Yeah, Sonny was fantastic tonight. Luke, I know you'd be shying away from all the fuss around your 150th game, and I know you don't like a lot of the attention, but we spoke to your coach, Trent Robinson, before this game, and he said it's an absolute honour to have you involved in the club and that you've absolutely changed the way that the Roosters play. Is that something that you're very proud of?
Yeah, it's obviously nice to hear things like that, but yeah, I still feel like I'm very, very early on at this club, and there's been a lot of players, yeah, that have come before me, and yeah, I just want to do the best I can every time I get a chance to put this jersey on. So, yeah, thank you, Robbo. It's the first compliment you've ever given me.
Boys, on a serious note, I mean, as enjoyable as it was to watch you tonight, it was certainly hard at the start of the game seeing your captain, who, you know, in my opinion, in my time watching the game, has been one of the toughest blokes to ever play. To see the emotion in him after a tough week must have been tough as well to see your skipper so emotional before the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all know, everyone knows how tough Boyd a player is. Yeah, he probably is the toughest player I've played with, and you know, he doesn't show much emotion, but yeah, he was probably hurting a lot through the week with the sad news, and obviously to have that head knock is disappointing for him, but you know, hopefully he's sweet to go next week or in the next few weeks.
Luke, can I ask you a little bit more about that concussion? They're so different case by case, and it can be really challenging to manage. Do you know where Boyd's at with his?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him yet, but obviously, yeah, with his history, yeah, it's obviously a little bit worrying, but knowing Boyd, he'll want to get out there as quick as possible, but they'll go through all the right protocols, which they're very on top of these days as club doctors and NRL doctors and independent doctors, so he's in good hands, Boydo.
Teddy, just for yourself, I mean, we glow about the attack of the Roosters so often, but tonight defensively, I thought that play at the end where, you know, your back three partner in Brett Morris came up with that tackle on Edric Lee, summed up exactly what's important heading forward in the next few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Our Robbo, that's his focus every week, especially going to the finals, is our defence, and I think we had 2 last tackle tries, which is disappointing, but they didn't look too threatening through our middle, which is really pleasing, and obviously need to fix up those last play tries, but all in all, it's pretty positive going to the finals.
Kez, where's the improvement for week 1 of the finals with the attack? You know, you were scintillating tonight across the park, but where's one area leading into the finals you'd like to get right?
Yeah, I reckon combinations, because we haven't played a lot of footy together. We've had a lot of people out at different stages. We've just got that left edge back together, and then obviously we lost Boydo tonight, but if we can just get some fluency there, yeah, I think we've got another gear or 2 in us, and I reckon it's all going to, yeah, probably be around the man beside me and Jake Friend through the middle, and just those middles working their combinations.
Kez, it might be Teddy's shout. What do you reckon?
Oh, 100%.
Same deal.
He's still bewildered by the deal, isn't he?
It's a little bit short than what he would have liked.
I was asking for more.
Mal thinks it's a bargain, Teddy. Don't worry about it. All right, all the best. You guys are back at the SCG. You've got the Sharks on Saturday. Thanks so much. Enjoy.
Thanks, Sat.
The boys, poor Teddy was blown away.
Yeah.
He's like, beg your pardon?
There's a leak out of the can.
What's happening? Nick Politis is on the phone. What's happening?